Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for listening once again to this podcast. My name is Jimmy, and tonight I'll be sharing a little bit with you. I'll be sharing with my friend a little bit about the legend about King Arthur. In here, we have in the audience and in the group, we have Aris Mendez Jose. He's part of the group that's going to be talking about the topic. We also have Frank Nadal. He's a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine. He's gonna be helping me out with this topic about King Arthur. And last but not least, we have Marcus Rivera, who is also gonna be talking about the same topic as well. So after introducing the participants of the topic, I'm gonna be talking a little bit about the topic, about the whole class that we're gonna be talking about. It's actually the legend of King Arthur. I think most of us have heard a little bit about the story. You guys remember there was this word and it was inside a stone. A lot of people were saying that the stone was like melted with the sword and nobody could take it out. So people were looking for the one who will take the sword out until they got to the point they got with King Arthur. By that time, he was not a king. He was just some poor guy. He didn't even have a name or something, but he had the strength to take the sword out of the stone, and that's why people knew he was the real guy. He was the king. He was the guy supposed to be a king. After introducing the topic, I'm gonna be giving a little bit of time to each of my partners, each of my friends in here, and they're gonna be talking as well about the same topic. Aris Mendez, if you want to talk a little bit about uh, the King Arthur, what do you think? I have a question for you, Aris Mendez. What do you think is your opinion about the same topic, the whole topic?
In my opinion, I think this is a good story. For my taste, it had to have a little less fantasy. I do not think it could be true, but I also say that it could have been the narration of the life of a person from that time with some fantasy things added.
That's great. Actually, it's true. It could have been like that. But I do have another question for you, Aris Mendes. Maybe the audience might want to hear from you. What do you think it might really happen back in there? What do you think it happened?
Okay, as I said, I do not consider that the story is true, but I think that the story must be about the life of a person from that time with add fantasy. That said, this is what I think about. I think could have happened.
Yeah, sure. I totally understand, and that's actually something interesting you're mentioning that because right now I'm gonna be asking Frank Nadal, that the friend of mine, and he's gonna be giving his opinion about the same topic. Nadal, what do you think about the King Arthur?
Well, I think the King Arthur story is a fictional literary work full of drama. I personally like it a lot because King Arthur, even though people did not consider him worthy of being king, he did his own way by winning battles.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. People did not consider him to be a real king just because of the fact that he was like some poor guy. He didn't have anything back in there. Last but not least, I want to ask you, Frank, what do you think it might really have happened back in there? Like, what do you think it happened?
Well, Jimmy, I think that the story might have happened, but it was written with the purpose of teaching people that you can achieve what you want, but you must work hard for it.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that. Like you gotta must work, like you must work hard for you to get the things you really want in life, and that's the same case in King Arthur. He did work hard for him to become a king, even though he took this word out of the stone. Eh, the last but not least, once again, Marcus, I want to ask you in your case, what do you think about this great legend, this great story?
I will be agreeing with my partners. I believe the story is fictional, completely fictional, and I just think it's made for people to entertain people.
Okay, okay. Yeah, my people, a lot of people might think in the same way that it was made out of just to entertain people, but I really want to ask you something else. What do you think? Well, actually, what do you think it might really have happened back in dirt?
Well, I think it was a story written to just teach people how I think it was kind of a metaphor to teach people that even though King Arthur didn't have materialistic things, and he wasn't like a wealthy person, a known person. He was worthy of getting out the sword because he was a great person, even though he didn't have all these things people in society think are great. And I just think it's to teach people that materialistic things, are not what define you.
Yeah, yeah, I get your point. I mean, nowadays and back in the time, people all that people cared about it was material thing, like being wealthy in a position where you had money, in a position where you could like had power in front of the other ones. That's always
Even now, people think like that.
yeah, exactly. Even now, people think like that. Power and money, they are maybe the two things, the two most important thing when it comes
Yeah.
to people's mind. But back in there, in the case of King Arthur, the important thing he didn't care about any of those things. Like all he cared about it was his heart and his feelings. That's one of the reasons why he could take out the sword out of the stone.
I agree.
Just for finishing and before ending, I want to give a brief resume or a brief conclusion about it. I really want to mention how I'm sorry, how important it is for us to keep in mind the importance of life, the importance of our feelings, the importance of what we really want to achieve in life, as Frank and Marcus were saying. A lot of people think about what they really want, material things, the material things they really want in life, but we got to think in our feelings. They are the ones that are those feelings are the ones that are going to allow us to take out this word out of the stun, from any specific point of our life. If you are, as we Dominican used to say, in front of the in front of the wall with a sword, you you in those cases have to get you gotta have your feelings, you gotta have a good heart, and not being focused on the material thing for you to achieve your goals. Last but not least, I want to thank Arismendi. Thank you so much for being with us in this video podcast. I want to thank you, Frank Nadal, and you as well, Marcus. Thank you for being in this podcast with me, sharing a little bit about this topic. Thank you to the audience for listening to this podcast. Thank you so much if you stood to the end and you are listening to this. Uh, let us let us get you the next video podcast for the next time. So goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.